We're at the point now where this franchise has fractured a lot of relationships, fractured a lot of interactions, and like everybody is here rooting for the same team, whether it's former players, content creators, guys in the media, or just casual fans. We tend to just go at each other, and that is the temperature that this franchise has us at, and it's sad to see, honestly. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. As always, this video is being brought to you by our good friends at Sleeper. Sleeper is sponsoring the channel, so make sure you guys check them out. More on them later. But man, I have to talk about this. I don't want to bud my head into this as if I'm just trying to like instigate, but I felt like I needed to talk about it because it went viral, right? As far Giants media goes viral very often on Twitter and on YouTube, but this one really takes the cake. Now, it has a lot to do with Carl Banks, Bob Papa versus Bobby Skinner, the content creator, Giants Nation. You guys know who Bobby Skinner is, needs no introduction. And of course, you guys know who Bob Papa and Carl Banks is. And before I get started on this, I want to preface something just in case Bob Papa or Carl Banks were to watch this video. Nothing but respect to two legends. I literally have been listening. I'm 27 years old. I've been listening to Bob Papa and Carl Banks since, like, I was a child. Just a child. Maybe as young as I can remember watching Giants football. No disrespect to them whatsoever, but some of this stuff needs to be said, especially if I feel indirectly attacked by what Bob Papa said. Before we get into it, let's pay some bills. Huge shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this video and being the official sponsor of this channel for the season. Join over 6 million users since 2023 on the #1 sports app in the world. Your one-stop shop for sports news, live game scores and stats, fantasy football, and of course, pick contests. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Right now, use promo code 27Squad and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for more details. All right, now let's show the video of how this all started.
Abdul Carter was kind of inside a little bit more, so you didn't see as much of an impact from him. But
we did see him get a sack, though.
Yeah, this Giants pass rush was the lifeline of this team right now. But even they could only do so much. Even when they rushed Mahomes, it was keep him in the pocket. They did a good job of that, and then the protection broke down because it's hard. It's hard to cover for 5 or 6 seconds. You know, look, the Giants right now could very well be 2-1. So this is not a bad team. So for those of you that are walking out of the stadium right now, or you're watching this game at home, like this. And when you start off with saying, here we go again. No, this is a different team. Like, this team is better.
And it's hard.
They're just not finding ways to win.
Right.
They're finding ways to give the game to the other team.
It's, again, we talk about levels of competition, right? They're not there yet. And as you say, they're not a bad team. They're a better team. But you can't convince anybody of that because they see the score.
Yeah.
And then the level of competition that they're playing right now is preventing anyone from seeing it unless you're looking through the eyes of someone who's been on the ascent, or you can actually look inside and say, this is getting better, this is getting better, this has to improve. But when you're playing Super Bowl caliber teams, you got to come up with those turnovers.
Right, and even though this is a Chiefs team that was struggling to start the season, came into Sunday Night Football 0-2 in the record, they still are a team. Good teams find ways to win, and they were able to do that.
And I don't think this was a get-right game for them because they struggled to get what they got.
Now, I posted the whole clip in context because Bobby took a snippet of that. I don't think it was on purpose. I think it was just trying to get the point across. But Bobby Skinner posted, John Mara, please stop making my childhood heroes have to say this stupid shit. And Carl Banks took offense to that because he's like, hey, I played in the NFL. I won 2 Super Bowls. What I say is not stupid shit. So I could understand that. So he comes out and says you should post the I don't know. I think he meant the rest. Post the rest of what we said, Bobby. I have too much respect for what you do to think that you're grandstanding for clicks, and I know you are capable of complex thoughts. So please watch or post the rest of what we said. Then Bobby posts the rest of what he said. He said, "I'm not sure what the context changes," and I showed you guys the clip. And what Bobby is really harping on is not even what Carl Banks said, but what Sean O'Hara said. You guys know who Sean O'Hara is as well, and I respect him very, very heavily. As Bobby said, these are our childhood heroes. But for Sean O'Hara to sit here and say that, hey, for all you guys leaving Giant Stadium, don't think that this is a bad team. This team should very well be 2-1. That is something that I used to say to Cope when I was in middle school. Like, it's all right. We should have won that game, and we should have won that game. So technically, we should be 2-1 by now. Like, you can't keep saying that, and especially from Giants media, like a grown person trying to cope and say that this is not a bad team, and then for Carl to say, Sean to say this is a better team. That's such an ambiguous statement. It can mean absolutely anything to say that they are better. Better than what? Better than what, Sean? And Carl Banks co-signed on it and said, yeah, to your point, they are a better team. But what does that really mean? That's just a meaningless statement unless you give a basis on what is better. Better than last year? You're talking about the team that won 3 games last year and had 1 home game win? I mean, come on. This team has won 40 wins over the past 10 years. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, 9 seasons. Well, the beginning of the 9th season. Since 2017, the Giants are 40, 95, and 1. That is the worst in the NFL, by the way. This is not a good franchise right now, and this is one of the most historically great franchises in all of the NFL. But as of recently, and I'm talking about the past 15 years or so, this team has been absolute trash. And so what does better actually mean? Is this the best team that we've had in the past 5 years? Even if that's the case, what does that even mean? My point is, bad teams find a way to lose games. Just like what Madeline Burke said in that clip.
Good teams find ways to win.
She said good teams find ways to win games. Well, when was the last time the Giants won a game? Against the Colts. Last year! And the Giants found themselves in position to win all 3 games. All 3 teams, even no matter how good they were. Kansas City, Washington, these are 2 teams. One made the Super Bowl, the other the NFC Championship last season. And you could arguably say Washington got better. But somehow, some way, Washington and Kansas City and the Dallas Cowboys, we know how that story went. All 3 teams gave the Giants an opportunity to win the game. And guess what? Good teams find a way to win games, even against teams that are better than them, as long as they take advantage of the other team's mistakes. But they didn't. So what does that mean? That they are a bad team, because bad teams find a way to lose all the time. You can say that, there was a mistake here and there that didn't go the Giants' favor. If Paulson Adebo got those 2 interceptions. If Bobby Okereke scooped up and scored. What does that all boil down to? Coaching. You could say that the coaches can't go out there and execute on the field, but how are they not? How is it that, first of all, we have 1 interception on this team right now, and this team was terrible in the interception department last year. We had nobody over 1, but yet we've had multiple opportunities for turnovers, and we just can't do it. We just cannot do it. How many fumbles? How many dropped interceptions? How many times where something goes in our favor and we cause a penalty, and then it swings in the opponent's favor? How many times has that happened just in this season? That boils down to coaching. They are not getting these players prepared enough to play these games and capitalize on mistakes. I don't know what it is, don't know, but there is no coincidence that there are multiple players on this team, offense and defense, that just cannot stop shooting themselves in the foot. It is almost every single player. Now, I had to rant on that because I really did not like what Sean O'Hara had to say, and a big part of it is that is a Giants televised broadcast. That is coming from the New York Giants franchise. So they're going to have to sugarcoat things and not say actually how they feel or what the real truth is, because they're going to say, oh, well, this is why they didn't win. And Carl got really mad because he said, you should play the whole clip. I mean, all they really did was explain how they lost. That doesn't add any context to what Sean O'Hara said and said that this is not a bad team. This team is not just a bad team. This team is terrible. I don't care how close they were in the majority of all of these games to winning it. If you don't find a way to win, you are bad. And if it's happening in multiple games in a row and you can't find yourself in the W column not one time, you are bad. Anyway, I know this is a longer video, but let's get on to the context of what Bob Papa said.
Who was it again? One of these content guys?
It's Bobby Skinner.
Right. He's a fan. He's a fan, right?
He's a fan. Listen, I don't even want to get into. Yes, he is a fan.
Yes, he's a fan. Let me ask you this: does he go in the locker room at any point during the week or after a game and sit and talk with players? Is he at the coaches' press conferences each and every week? Does he have relationships with any of the coaches and players outside of being a fan?
I don't think so.
Okay, so he's a content creator. He's a Giant fan.
Listen, I am not going to fault Carl Banks on this at all. He didn't even look comfortable with talking about he didn't really look comfortable co-signing what Bob Papa had to say. And like I said, if Carl Banks watched this, because Carl Banks is very in tune with the media and content creators, and I really respect that from Carl. He doesn't clown us at all. He respects us. In the same way that a lot of us do respect him as well. I defended Carl when they disrespected the hell out of him on WFAN with Sal and whatever their names are. Those two bald clowns over there. I don't know who they are, but they disrespected a Giants legend on their show for something they were completely wrong on. But I had Carl's back on that one when I covered it. But now in this situation, Bob Papa is now coming out. Bobby Skinner, man, everybody knows who he is. I mean, players, the mainstream, content creators know who he is. He, kind of put Giants content creation on the map. Now, he wasn't the first to ever do it, but, he's probably the best right now, and that's no glazing at all. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Bobby, and he does a lot of good things, and, he kind of came at Bobby and really indirectly went after content creators in general, saying, well, he's, at the end of the day, he's just a fan. He's just a guy. He's just a guy that is voicing his opinions because he's angry. And he's not in the locker room. He's not sitting down with the players. He's not, what does that have to do with anything? Would that change his analysis being in the locker room? Bob Papa, all due respect, you're not a coach. You're not a former player. You're not even an analyst. You're the play-by-play guy. Now, of course, some knowledge has to take place. You got to have some knowledge to be the play-by-play guy for as long as you've been doing it. And to your credit, you've been great at it. I've been a huge fan of you for so long, but to come after content creators we don't know what we're talking about. Brother, we've been covering this team independently by our own free will. We come home from our full-time jobs. Some of us sit down in this chair till 2 a.m. and cover this team, and you're saying that we're just fans? We dedicate ourselves to trying to know as much as possible, try to get the inside scoop on things, and for him to say that kind of thing is annoying, frustrating, and kind of hurtful. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Bobby commented on that video and said this: Bob, your players talk to me. Your former and current coaches, scouts, trainers talk to me. Your media personalities talk to me and tell me the dynamic of your post-game shows. I get news. I sponsor a show by your most followed beat reporter, which is Jordan Renan. Your PR team harasses me. Your sales team complains to common sponsors about me. I am a fan, but don't worry, you'll trash this regime on the way out just like you did the last three because you're a fan, and that's what fans do. So he's kind of calling him Bob Papa out and kind of calling and for what Bob Papa does when those regimes are on the way out, because Bob Papa and the Giants media will not be afraid to go in on whoever the Giants fire because they're not part of the organization anymore. So they're free game. And that's the thing. content creators, you think that content creators are just like 10 years ago content creators where these guys are getting, like I was a part of that back then, where we're getting 100 views on videos, we're just spewing our opinions. Now we have sponsors on our channels, we have nice productions, we get background information, we get interviews, we get people talk to us, they give us information. Not saying that a lot of that has happened to me, but I've gotten stuff in the past. And Bobby, I mean, no doubt in my mind, I didn't even know that scouts, trainers, current coaches, I mean, that have never happened to me. But as far as Bobby, he's the real deal when it comes to this stuff. And the Giants organization know about him. He's not just like LPG, all due respect to LPG. He's not LPG where he's legitimately famous for being a fan. Bobby is legitimately famous for covering the team. There's a difference. You can be a fan and still cover the team. Just like I'm sure, Bob Papa, you are a fan and you do play-by-play for the team. It's the same thing. So to come at us for that is really frustrating. Annoying, to be frank. So I ranted on this for a while. I didn't think I was going to, but here I am. This is a bad organization, and it's really frustrating that it had to come. Like, the Giants fan base has been fractured for the beginning of time. I mean, ever since Daniel Jones got drafted, which people would think is the beginning of time, because that's when really things went off the rails, where people started to notice the fracturing of the Giants fan base. But then, then it goes to the different regimes, Dave Gettleman guys, the Daniel Jones guys, the Joe Shane guys, the Saquon Barkley guys, Now it's spread to Giants media. Now it's spread to the former players that we looked up to for them to come down at us now, and it really sucks, man. We all root for the same team, and we're always going against each other. That's why I always said on this channel, Giants fans we have a lot of practice trash talking amongst each other, because I've never seen a fan base so fractured as this one, and it really stems from how dysfunctional this team is and how terribly run this organization is. Now, I've never been inside the facility. I don't know John Mara personally. I don't know the coaching staff or the front office guys personally. None of that. It doesn't take a scientist. It doesn't take an analyst with some sort of whatever degree you would get for being an analyst. It doesn't take you being inside the facility. It doesn't take you sitting down with players and interviewing them. It doesn't take you having a relationship with ownership. You can see it. This is a terribly run organization. It needs a change from the top down. From the top down. This is not going to change with just now replacing the GM and the coach again, like they've been doing for how many times now. It's not going to change that way. Man, we got to find a way to have Mara sell that team. We gotta entice Mara to sell the team, please. Because look what Washington did. They sold the team, and they're a totally different franchise now. So that's what the Giants need to do, man. It's really unfortunate. But I appreciate you, everybody, watching the video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Sponsored by Sleeper. Appreciate you guys joining in. We'll see you guys next time. Woo!